Crypto is a scam. It's never going to work. All these coins are simply worthless and they're going to zero. These are some of the biggest criticisms of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. And to some degree, they are right. But out of all the garbage out there in the crypto space, there's a ton of game-changing technology that has insane potential for how we interact online, particularly in the realm of finance. And in this video today, I want to talk about one particular use case for crypto that's starting right now that could be an absolute game changer for this technology and cause it all to blow up like crazy. I'm going to explain exactly what it is and some key players in this space that are working on this. So trust me, you don't want to miss this if you're trying to stay 2 steps ahead of where this space is headed. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below and subscribe. And if you want to see the absolute best way to make it in crypto, that's to increase your income by becoming a blockchain developer. And I can show you how to do that step by step from start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. All right, so let's get into this. Let's talk about this game-changing use case for crypto. And I'm calling it a flywheel for crypto because basically this is a perpetual motion machine that's going to attract outside demand for crypto that can cause real demand for the technology and value accrual to actual specific cryptocurrencies themselves to where they can increase in value over time without the insane volatility that we've seen in the crypto markets. Because of course, crypto has a huge problem. Coins go down, all right, all the time. Why is that? Well, mostly because a lot of coins are basically, the value is pinned up by speculation. I mean, what do you think this is worth? We're kind of betting that, people are going to use this more in the future. They get some utility out of it now, but mostly that more people are going to use it in the future. It's not like a stock where basically you own equity in something that actually produces cash flow, but all this could change very soon with crypto. So let me explain why. Well, you may have heard of the term real world assets or RWA. Basically, this is like bringing real things from the real world, actual assets, and putting them on chain. Okay. Things like stocks, bonds, real estate, you name it. All right. Anything that has value that can be represented on a blockchain and actually transfer ownership and trade that value. That's what you could do with real world assets. And this could actually be the key to unlocking the demand that I'm talking about. So let me explain. Let's talk about the use case of stocks on the blockchain. What if you could trade any stock on chain, like Tesla, Apple stock, anything that has high trade volume? What if you could actually do that on a blockchain? Well, there's several different projects working on that right now. Okay, one of them is White Rock, okay, and like BlackRock. But you might say, what do stocks have to do with crypto blowing up? We came here to get away from that stuff. Okay, just hear me out. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about what they're doing and what some other players in this space are also doing. Now, this is not a sponsored video. I have no affiliation with White Rock. I've seen some other videos floating around about this that might be sponsored, okay? And I haven't actually dug my hands into every feature of this application, so this is not an endorsement of this product. But basically, they are bringing real-world assets on chain. They're currently letting you do things like trade the value of Apple stock against some other stablecoin. And they're basically actually implementing real-world assets on chain in this way. Now, I'm going to get to why this type of use case could make crypto absolutely blow up here in a second. But first, let's talk about why would you even want to trade stocks on a blockchain in the first place? Well, there's lots of benefits that you get by putting, stocks on a blockchain that you don't get in the traditional way. So number one is, 24/7 trading. You could trade this stuff around the clock. You have global access so that there's no red tape. As long as you have a crypto wallet and you could access something like this, then you could trade. Okay. You can also do things like fractional shares. So you don't have to own an entire stock. You could just own a portion of one. It's instant settlement. So whenever you finish your trades and you want to take your money, you can just do that. You don't have to wait for any type of thing to settle or clear. And finally, it's non-custodial. So you always have custody of your own funds with your crypto wallet. So there's lots of reasons why you might demand to do that. Also, we could create new types of derivative products on chain and cool DeFi recipes that you can't do somewhere else. So that's why, you might want to trade real world assets and stocks in particular on chain. But how could this actually be big for the entire cryptocurrency space and make crypto actually blow up? Well, because it makes room for crypto utility coins that can actually have fundamental value because they can really be worth something and pay you money. Okay, so let me explain. So essentially, what happens if you have a trading platform that lets you, trade stocks? Okay, so what you have fundamentally is infrastructure on chain that lets people do this with the benefits that I talked about before. All right. And now you have a reason for people to want to use this stuff, okay? So we have trading tools like Uniswap and plenty of other decentralized exchanges, but essentially they are fueled by demand to trade cryptocurrency. And when crypto is in a bear market, okay, trading volume goes down a lot, okay? And that's highly correlated with the price of cryptocurrencies as well. But what if you have a market like stock market that's evergreen? I mean, sure, trading activity goes down in bear markets in the stock market, but you have longer periods of bull market in the stock market where there's pretty much evergreen demand to trade that type of stuff. So if you have benefits to do that on chain, you're going to have a ton of demand using the blockchain that was previously not using it before. That's orders of magnitude more. So you've got the infrastructure to do it. You've got the demand. Now let's talk about the actual utility coins that can come into play. So we've seen lots of different decentralized exchanges that are just trading cryptos right now, okay, come out with different types of tokens. Like Uniswap has a token, plenty of other DEXs have tokens, but what these tokens fundamentally are just governance tokens, all right? Basically, they say, you have voting rights over what we do with the protocol, but that's not really enough for those coins to really go up and to the right over time. They're still very essentially prone to crypto bull and bear markets. Because when a price is going down, you're not sitting there thinking like, oh, I want to make sure I can vote on this thing. You're probably just going to dump the crypto. But what if you had access to a token that was constantly paying you fees based on the demand for the actual applications themselves? Well, that's what this opens the door to, okay? So, I mean, we've seen people talk about turning on a fee switch for Uniswap. I'll get to why we haven't done that here in a second. But basically, what if you had a Uniswap token, which was part of the app, and if you held that token, all of the trading activity on Uniswap that captured a fee would go get distributed back to the token holders itself, okay? That would be a strong reason to continue to hold a coin because it's going to continually pay you every time someone makes a swap, okay? And the more demand there is for that, the more value is going to accrue to that actual token itself. Now, that's still not enough if we're talking about people only trading cryptocurrencies, because again, like I said, whenever crypto goes into bear markets or really boring periods like we're in right now, the trading volume is going to go down and the token's probably not going to be worth as much because there's not as much fees going through, okay? But if you talk about bringing stock trading onto the blockchain, a market that's orders of magnitude larger than cryptocurrencies, that's evergreen, where people are constantly demanding to trade the technology on chain, okay? And then you have exchange platforms that facilitate that process that are decentralized. And then you have a coin, a utility coin that can actually capture a portion of the fees. You're talking about perpetual demand for the technology, a token that's integrated into that as a utility coin that's going to pay people money to essentially hold that token because it's generating fees from the platform. And if you have more tokens like that, then you actually do have cryptocurrencies that are giving you access to a portion of revenues from an application that's being used all the time. And then basically you have a recipe for a cryptocurrency that's probably going to be up and to the right indefinitely. Now, why don't we have all that stuff already? Okay, because we've basically had the technology and the scalability to do stocks on chain, have utility coins that can capture revenues from protocols for quite some time, okay? But we haven't really seen people really do it to a huge degree, okay? So why is that? Well, one of the biggest reasons is for regulations, okay? Because you're talking about securities laws and having to comply with those, and we don't really have good regulatory frameworks for understanding what you can and can't do on chain with these types of securitized assets, and also creating these types of utility coins that could provide access to revenues for the token holders. But a lot of that actually could change pretty soon, and that could be why we're already starting to see players like this move into the space to offer these types of services. So again, I don't love talking about politics on my channel, but one important thing is that we do have a lot of potential for the coming years with the new administration that's coming into the United States. Okay, one of the biggest headwinds for crypto has been, lack of regulatory clarity for years now. And at least what the campaign promises are is that we are going to try to move in the direction of actually getting that type of clarity. So I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight. But if we start to see frameworks laid out that say, yes, you can launch utility tokens as long as they follow these types of rules and they can actually capture revenue and pay those back to token holders. And yes, you can actually trade these types of real world assets on chain as long as you're following XYZ rules, and that gets implemented and we start seeing these types of products launch, then that can be an insane perfect storm for what I'm talking about that can essentially create new applications, bring outside demand to the space that was previously not there, new coins that can actually provide value to the token holders to where they're going to hold them regardless if the price is dumping. And if that happens, I don't see any way where that value is also not going to spread out to the rest of the crypto ecosystem, where lots of coins will start changing how they fundamentally work to be more like utility coins. And if that one lever is pulled, then I can see this entire space absolutely blowing up, just simply from this one use case alone taking off and catching like wildfire. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Do you think that real world assets has the potential to completely transform how the cryptocurrency space works, like I'm talking about in this video? Are we actually going to see the types of favorable regulations laid out to accomplish this? Is none of this going to work at all? I want to hear from you. And whenever you're finished leaving your comment, make sure you smash that like button down below and subscribe. And if you want to see the absolute best way to make it in the crypto space, then of course, the best way is to increase your income by becoming a blockchain developer. And so how can you do that? Well, you can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those videos and you went to the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, I can show you how to become a blockchain master step-by-step start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You really have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.